Hey, what's up, everybody? I know it's been a little crazy these last couple months, with the divisiveness, everything you see on the news. They're trying to divide us, man. They're trying to blame us for things, that we have no idea why. It's always something that's out there that's attacking us. And when I say us, I mean black people. I'm speaking for me. I'm speaking for things that I see in my community. You know, um, it's funny because it gets you to a point where you get upset. You want to react, you want to respond, but how can you respond to stupidity? How can you respond to ignorance? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like leave that alone. Leave it alone. Clear your mind. Don't let that extra stuff come into your life and stress you out because it's not worth it. It's not even worth the response half the time because half of these people are really talking out the side of their necks and it makes no sense at all. It's just really been divisive, sometimes even amongst ourselves. You know, uh, that's another video right there. But I'm sticking to the scripture, man. It says, love thy neighbor. The word says, love thy neighbor. And there's not a lot of love going around. I think these so-called Christians, these so-called people that are calling themselves Christians, they're missing that. Love thy neighbor, as you would love yourself. Stop treating people like trash. Give people the benefit of the doubt. And I bring up this topic because my neighbor, who's an older white guy, a Republican, you know, a right winger, and he's about 70 years old. Going through some health issues, and but he's a cool guy. We always converse, and we always have nice discussions. And he's really smart. He's been through some stuff, but I think he's going through a little dementia, I believe, which is so sad. But physically he's like good. Like I watched this man uh, uh, go to the store and come back with these gallons of water, in his car and make these trips, make like 20, no, I'm exaggerating, maybe like 5 or 6 trips back and forth from his car to his apartment with these jugs of water. And I'm like, you need some help? I can help you. No, I got this. I got this. I got this. I'm good. I'm like, okay, that works for you. So I mean, he's physically capable of doing things like that. But one day he needed some help, with his TV, and he invited me over, to come and check it out. And I'm like, I'm not the type of person to just go in nobody's house, let alone somebody I'm not gonna call him a stranger, but I'm not calling him a friend either, But going in, I was already like on my P's and Q's. I was like, okay, looking around, making sure ain't nobody gonna jump out this closet, making sure ain't nobody gonna jump out of this room, So I went in on alert, and I think anybody would do that, but I was on extra alert because I don't know this guy like that. So I went in and he was invited me to sit down. You need some tea, you want some water, and I'm like, no, I'm okay, So we start talking, and I looked around and I saw pictures of him with like Muhammad Ali, and I'm like, wow, tell me this story. So we got to chopping it up about how he met Muhammad Ali back when he was younger, in his 30s, and how he was in the Air Force as a programmer, and he had this background and this awesome background, and just how he just knew so many of us. And when I say us, black people. And I was like, wow, I prejudged this man really good. And that's where we are right now. We're on that verge of uh, putting everybody into this box. They do it to us, and we do it to them. And we have to give people the benefit of the doubt. We have to love thy neighbor as we love ourselves. And the love is missing, on their part and ours sometimes. You know, uh, especially within our community. I sometimes I don't get the logic of black Republicans, uh, but it's okay. They have a different outlook on life than I do. You know, do I hate them? No, I don't hate anyone. Do I want them to have become more less narrow-minded? Yes, I would love that, but they might feel the same about me. But um, we have to get out of the grouping people up in the same box, because you never know, until you talk to a person, or until you sit down and see different pictures, or hear stories of what that person been through, what they're going through currently. Love thy neighbor as you would love yourself. And I believe that will go a long way in this divisive world that we're living in right now. But it just seems like people aren't getting it, and it's hard to accept sometimes. It's hard not to respond to some of the posts you see. You know, you see Jasmine Crockett arguing with Laura, whatever her name is, and it's like, why does she feel this way about this black queen? Why is she saying this about her? It's like people are getting away with saying the most hateful things, and I hate it. But stay prayed up, y'all. I love y'all, and be blessed.